Hello students, now I'm going to tell you how to unzip the security XP folder, the image, and load it on VirtualBox and run the source code analyzer. So you would have copied the zip file from the lab or what I gave you in a DVD, the security XP zip file. So double click on that. You see a folder security XP, copy it and put it somewhere else in your machine because basically you're extracting it. So after I extracted, I have it somewhere here. Okay, so this is now the contents of the folder. So now you see here there are basically four files. So you see a smaller file that says VirtualBox machine definition. So double click on it, and that will really, if you have Oracle VirtualBox already loaded in your machine, which you did for project 2, then it should right away open in Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, so I suggest you switch to scale mode. Okay, I think scale mode is probably a better option so that you can see both your host as well as the virtual machine. So this is a warning which I don't think is important to notice, so you could turn it off if you want. Let me see. Alright. So once you launch a virtual machine, you could see that the 45 source code analyzer is here, right? Now we will start with how to type a program and compile it in Java. So let me just now use text editor. You could install any software on a virtual machine if you want, and I'm just going to show how to. You don't need even an import statement for my test program. Just say class test. But of course, if you're using any specific class, you have to import some packages. So I'm just going to show a hello world program. Right, so I'm going to save it. As I said in the project description, create a folder on your own name so that when you take all the screenshots it shows your name. So I'm going to create my own name, and I'm going to name it as a .java file. So I'm going to say test.java. So now you open up the command prompt and you go to that folder. If you remember, you can see where I saved it in this folder, so you have to go to that. So cd/goes takes you there, and that takes you that folder. So now you make sure your Java program compiles first. So it compiles. You can even run it and see what happens. Okay, now make sure the class name that you give here is what you run. So you could save it as any name you want, your name or test analysis, anything, but and compile with that name. But when you run the class, make sure you run it where the main function is declared. So here the main function is declared as class test, so that's why I say Java test. Alright, so now I can use source analyzer. This is the command, and say test.java. So it's going to run, do the analysis and give you the results. Okay, as you see, we just have a print statement, so it says it's a poor logging practice, and the J2E bad practice, as you saw in class, is due to the use of the main function. Okay, now, well, these are two warnings you could really ignore in your project or the quiz. Now let me show you how to really use the audit workbench. I believe it is -f. Let's say, I think it's test.java, and then -f, then test results.fpr. So now it won't show the error messages on the screen. Everything will be saved in this .fpr file. So as you say source analyzer in the Java file name, then you say -f, then test results.fpr. So now you can really open your source code analyzer, the audit workbench 45 software, go to this and then click on audit workbench. So the audit workbench gets loaded, and open up that full file where you saved it. So that is over here. So it's going to load it up, and you can say continued audit guide. This is just a summary of all the warnings, and you can say just say OK here. You don't need to really do anything on this screen. Okay, so now you see those are the information level warnings. It's not a hot warning. So click on this, it will show the line where the problem is, and you could say click on details. It will really give you some information about the warning. So for the other warnings you will encounter in your quiz, you could actually get some more information about from this details tab that they have explained, and sometimes they would also give the solution. So if you click on this, they would have given you some description of the problem, right? Okay, so every time you do an update, make sure you compile it, and then I would suggest run it like this without forwarding to a FPR file, and then just to visually see, use this audit workbench. You basically do everything in command line. You don't have to use the FPR and use the audit workbench. The audit workbench is more to graphically see the different warnings, okay, and get some help in terms of this details option. Okay, you cannot, unfortunately this version doesn't let you to do some modifications, save it and recompile it here. You have to go to the command prompt and compile it and forward to the FPR file and then load it up again. So pretty much you don't need to use a audit workbench if you can fix everything in command line by understanding what the error messages are. If you want more information, then open audit workbench, right? So pretty much that's it. You can get started, I guess.